What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I want to talk about work lights today, and you can see I rounded up as many as I could think of I had, and I didn't grab regular flashlights, and I didn't dive in too deep with the headlamps because I got a bunch of those, but just grabbed a bunch of different varieties, and I kind of wanted to talk about them and kind of what I think you should start with, or what I think each one's best use is. As you can see, I got a wide array of different types of lights, and I've been doing this a while, so let's kind of start with where it all started, or seemed to have started, the traditional light bulb. This is just an old treble light. Just has this little cage, covers the light bulb to keep that from getting shattered, and then you just put in any kind of light bulb. This specific one has I don't know, probably a 15-foot cord on it. Plug that in. If I can get the thing to plug in. And then it's got just a push button on it. This bulb might be blown. Nope. And then you get your light bulb. This is good for working under a car. This is super old school. As you can tell, it looks that way. But you can hang this under the hood of a car and get to work, or I could hang it under this workbench or wherever I was working and get some work done. It's not ideal. This is pretty archaic, but in a pinch, if it's all you can get at a yard sale and that's all you can afford, it's not a bad option. I would just recommend getting an LED bulb or something super bright for that. Just kind of wanted to talk about those. You can see this one's pretty well whipped. This just lives in the cabinet and doesn't ever get used. Another one that's not really very relevant anymore is one of these desk lamps. I actually used this for a long time next to the vise, and it's kind of nice to have something bright that you can just quickly turn on and off, pointing right at the vise. So it's not bad for that. If you can go buy one of these for real cheap at a yard sale, get one for free on the side of the road, pick it up, because it is nice to have on your workbench. It's just an extra close-up light for when you're working underneath it. These are cheap. They can be had cheap. But again, not with the times that we have now and LED technology, these are kind of the thing of the past, and this is kind of where we're going. Kind of talking cheapest, I got this. My dad, when I first started out, way back, sorry, the camera's not focusing. Let's see if I can get it to focus on this. Apparently not. There we go. Way back when I started out, my dad bought me a Porter cable set. So I've got like a drill, a driver. It came with a light, a circular saw, one of those oscillating multi-tools, orbital sander, a grinder, and a Sawzall. So it came with a lot of stuff, and it's all actually still working. It's probably 5 years old now. But it came with this little light. This thing's like 120 lumens. It's not worth hardly anything. That's all it gets. So yes, it's something, if you need it, it's there, but this again is something that just kind of lives. So if you see these for sale, unless you really want something that'll hold a charge, or run off of a small battery for a really long time, this is not your thing, I don't think. But that's just another honorable mention I just wanted to bring up. Okay, this I got as a stocking stuffer 1 year. This runs off of 3 AA batteries. You can get these at Lowe's for like $19.99. This is not a horrible light. It's pretty bright. I like to keep this in a bag just for like, something to prop up. It's got this little kickstand on it. Just a Craftsman little cheap work light. But the problem with this guy, and the problem with any light, is you really don't want to get the ones with disposable batteries. We're past that technology wise. You want something rechargeable. 9 times out of 10 you're going to be able to just recharge whatever you're using. Yes, I guess it's nice that if this goes dead, you don't have to wait for it to charge. You can just put new batteries in it, but most of the time you're not going to be doing a job that long, and I'd rather top it off and know that it's fully charged versus has halfway dead batteries, or just the cost of batteries in general. But again, cheap light, good backup, and that's kind of the direction that all these lights are headed. is I got this, and then I, you know, start thinking about the LEDs and thinking about more like floodlights. Sorry about the focus. I don't know what's going on with it. More work floodlights, and then I kind of advanced from there. This is something you can buy at Harbor Freight. This is pretty cool. This is what's currently living on my vise. It's got a magnetic base here, so I put it on the anvil part of the vise, and then I can just shine it down on whatever I'm working on. And that's pretty handy. I think these are like $20 when on sale. That's what I got it for, was 20 bucks. I gave my dad one for Christmas. And there is a way to get that light at the end to turn on. Oh, it probably is on right now. I just have it. Sorry, I don't know what's up with this. I have to do a little research, but I got a piece of tape over the end, so you can see I just shut it off. And it switches modes and has a little light on the end, but that light on the end is next to useless. But this is handy. I know a lot of guys like these for working on their cars, shining up underneath the body, and it's nice and slim. It's a good one to have, and it charges off of micro USB. So you can see there. So 20 bucks. Again, this is a significant upgrade to that Craftsman. You just have to worry about durability. It's all riding on that little hinge right there. Sorry, I'm doing touching this to get it to focus, so if it's a little shaky, I apologize. It's all riding on that hinge, so that they said to me when I bought this, hey, you want to get the extended warranty? A lot of those hinges break. I'm like, that's not a good thing, but it just sits still for me. And this is, you know, a nice light. I think it's like 400 lumens. It could be wrong. It does not say. Anyways, let's keep this video moving. So that's kind of like small, personal. I'm working on a project type lights. And then, so are these. I guess we can set these aside. As you can tell, I like these Olight swivels. I have 3 of them and a knockoff version. But this is an Olight. It charges off of USB-C, which is really nice because a lot of stuff's going that way. So it's nice to have one product, or one charge cord, I'm sorry, to use. And this is handy. It's got a floodlight in the front, and then it has a flashlight out the other side. So you click, turn it on, and then you got a flashlight here. So no matter what orientation you're working in, you can either have a flashlight that's more of a spotlight, or you can have a floodlight. What I use this for is working on our control panels. It's got magnets right here. Let's shut the light off. It's got magnets right here. So I stick this on top of the control panels, if you can picture this, and then it's hanging down kind of like this type of fashion, shining all that floodlight right into the panel, and it makes it really nice to work. And this is so compact. I mean, look how small that is compared to my hand. And that's 400 lumens right there. So that's plenty bright for anything I'm working on inside a panel. I bought this one. This was the first one I had. I lost it, or I thought I did. It was just under the seat of my car. I looked forever for it. Then I bought this one, and the magnet fell out of there. I contacted Olight, and I just told them what happened, and they sent me another one. So I now have 3 of these, which is nice because I can spread these around all my different toolkits. They stand up on their own. They're very stiff lockout. There's a Klein version very similar to this, but it doesn't have that stiff locking mechanism to it. So I really like this for that. And then one thing that this definitely has over the Klein, and I'll compare it with this one, this carabiner goes inward. Trying to work this with the focus, so let's see if I can get this going in my hand. Sorry if this whole thing's just been out of focus. This carabiner goes inwards. That doesn't give me a whole lot of space here to slide this over something. However, this guy, this opens out, and that gives it a way easier time fitting anything inside here. So if I'm hanging this on a 1/2-inch piece of conduit, it'll do it nice and easy. I can also throw this in my belt loop, and then when I want to pull it off, you know, if you can picture this being my belt loop, I can just whoop, pull it off nice and easy that way. You know, it might be a little trickier sliding it on because you got to do a little bit of that, but this light's awesome. They're like $30, and I would recommend this to anybody. It's probably your first personal work light. This can work on cars. You can stick it anywhere. The magnets are nice and strong. as long as they stay in. I think that was just a manufacturer defect. You can tell they didn't use a lot of glue there. I really like Olight. I definitely like their products, and I will recommend them to anybody. So that's the Olight Swivel is the name of that. You can see right here, Olight Swivel. So recommend those. This guy, it's like $12 on Amazon. It's supposed to be a knockoff of this style light. You can hear it's super loud. It works. If you're looking for something cheap to throw as an emergency kit, it's probably okay for that. This is micro USB. And you can even tell that. See, that's something I didn't even notice. Look how jacked up that charge port is. It's just cheap quality. This feels a lot heavier duty. I've dropped those, 20, 30 feet and they've been fine. So that's that. That's those kind of personal lights. This is starting to step up into more of a, there you go, dropping stuff. More of a heavy duty work light. These two. One of these I keep in my work car at all times. I think it's probably this one. And then another one I had bought just to have at home because I liked it so much. This has a very stout magnet on the back. It also lets you hang it. And that's how I have it riding in my work car, is hanging on a little screw. But this has a really nice wide flood pattern. As you can tell, I'm just lighting up this whole area. And another perk of this light, I think this is like 800 lumens, maybe 750, but this has a USB port. So this allows you to use your M12 batteries to charge your phone. And these are a little pricey. I think this is called the Rover. So Rover service and repair floodlight. If you can see that there. Love this. Highly recommend. They're like maybe 70 bucks, and then it's nice to have a big battery to last all day. I use this when I know I'm going to be posted up. Sorry about the focus. I apologize. Fighting it all day. Whenever I know I'm going to be set up in one spot, I'm using this. So recommend those. I'm trying to speed this video up. I keep having these long videos. I feel like nobody wants to watch that long of a video. Honorable mention, these Fox LE headlamps are awesome for $10. I don't know why anybody buys anything else. I have the one that I actually use all the time is on my hard hat, so I'm just showing you my running one. But this is a cheap $10 headlamp. I use these whenever I want to leave them in a bag in a kit. I have really expensive headlamps that I use when I'm actually doing serious mountain hiking or trail running, but this is perfect for just working up in the attic or in the crawl space, or just trying to see what's in front of you without holding the flashlight in your mouth for hours. Highly recommend a headlamp. Get one, and get a rechargeable one. Fox LE is the brand I'm recommending to anybody that wants to listen to me. Less than 15 bucks. I don't know what they cost right now, but this one was $9. So we got a few left here. This is a handheld spotlight. I'm in the Ryobi platform out at our farm. We have 50 acres and a camper and all that deal set up. So I have a shed with a bunch of tools in it, and I'm into the Ryobi stuff just because it's cheap and it lets me have stuff there. So I've got, this, I got a fan, I got a radio, their wet dry vac, just different things that run off of this cheaper battery or this cheaper platform. And this isn't a bad light. I bought it for that reason, and this thing is stupendously bright. It's a funny word to be using, but it is. It's really bright, and if you're looking for a crazy high beam, it's not quite as bright as my Olight, serious Olights, but it's a good flashlight. And I don't like that the head doesn't articulate. I wish I was able to carry it this way with the head pointing out. But you win some, you lose some. I think the thing was $45, maybe $50. But look at those LEDs in there. I mean, this thing's a monster. So that was just something I wanted to mention. They do make these floodlights. Any battery platform you're in, you can probably buy one. I don't think that this is something you need to buy right away, but if you want it, you want to use it for looking for deer or just milling around the woods, something like this would be pretty cool to have in the car. This one, something that's kind of funky about this is it came with a 12-volt cord that plugs into the bottom of this. It's like promoting spotlighting from your car. I don't really know. I don't see a use for it. And with that big 4 amp hour battery on there, this thing will last forever. So that's those. Speaking of porter cable like I was before, cheaper stuff. I've had this forever. I use this to paint my house. Took all the lights out of my house, and this was the one of the two things that lit up my house. You can tell it's been used. These are nice. As we start to get in the bigger lights, you're gonna see stuff like this where this is hybrid. This can actually take 120 volts directly to this. You plug an extension cord right into there, and this will power this indefinitely, which is completely awesome. And that's how I use this light now. This actually sits over one of my workbenches on the other side of the shop, just pointing straight down, and I have a little extension cord into it, and that's how I run it. Sucker's pretty bright. It's probably 1500 lumens. Nice wide flood work light. These are cheap. Depending on the battery platform you're in, you can really get a light like this for not too much money. And it might even be worth just buying something like this one and using it as a hybrid with that plug-in on it. It's a lot better than this guy. Then I got these two Milwaukee lights left to talk about. This is a 12 volt one. I've had this one longer than these two. This has a spring on it that will let you clamp it on a 2x4, so either a floor joist or a stud. These are pretty bright. I've used this before at work too, but it's just so much bigger than this. And maybe this is 1100 or 1000 lumens. When this is 750, for what I'm doing, I don't really notice a difference. So we're talking form factor here. This is much smaller. I do like this. And again, if I knew I was going to be posted up at a job site, I might bring this in, but this sits at home and goes with my other 12 volt stuff. And then the Mac Daddy. I sprung for this when I started remodeling my house. You can tell it's covered in paint. I used this for 3 months to light up my whole house when I didn't have my can lights in, and I was dragging my feet on getting that done. Crazy bright radius light. It's probably blown out the camera, or you can't really tell because, you know, whatever. I think it's probably 2500 lumens, gives you the nice lantern effect. But you can switch the mode, and then it's got a very similar light out the front as this guy. And this is sick, and this also has that hybrid. So that's what I had done. I had put it, plugged it in with an extension cord on a switched outlet, and this is what I would turn on for light in the house. If I'm working with a crew or something, this would be, it's got different levels, you know, high, medium, low. This would be a sweet light to have. I've never brought this to work, but if I knew I was gonna be working in a dark room for a week, I would bring this. It's got a hook, a hanger, but this is like 150 bucks without a battery. That's crazy money for a light, and I'm not telling somebody they should go buy it. I've got a lot of Olights though, and I've spent stupid money on those, but it'll run for a good amount of time on one of these 5 amp hours on high. Okay, I've just been rambling about lights, but I just kind of want to give you guys an overview of different types of lights so you can look out for. My thoughts on some of the ones I have and their place. If I had to pick only one for right now, I'm really rocking these. These are the tits, as some would say. Of course, I grabbed the one that's busted, but this still works. I mean, that's plenty enough magnet to hold on to a piece of sheet metal for me. But thanks for watching. I'm trying to be more consistent, so here's another 18-minute video. I hope you guys watched. I'll catch you guys in the next one.